Hello guys, watch this video if it's not your birthday today. Yes, since you're here, it means it's not your birthday today. Right now, in this video, I'm here to read you a very interesting and listenable story that you will thoroughly enjoy. So, are you ready? Only people it's not your birthday today can like the video and subscribe and comment birthday. Before start the story. 3, 2, 1.
The story of the orphan who made Rolex. On March 22, 1881, in the city of Columba, a boy was born in Germany, and they named him Hans Wilsdorf. Hans had two brothers, one older and one younger. His father was not in a bad financial situation because he owned a hardware store in the same city. Everything was fine until Hans's mother got sick and died. And after a year, when Hans was 12 years old, his father also got sick and died. Their uncle accepts the guardianship of these three brothers and sells the iron shop and puts his money in the bank and sends these three brothers to a first-class private school. But he studied well, and besides studying, he also studied French and English. After some time, Hans gets his diploma and his uncle tells him to go to university. But he says, "I don't want to go to university because I want to go to Switzerland and get my favorite job there." The first job he gets is employed as a salesman in a pearl shop. At that time, one of his friends suggested him to be employed in Kuno Korten watchmaking company and receive more salary. When he entered the company, they found out that Hans knew English and immediately hired him in the sales department. His salary was 80 Swiss francs a week. Hans really loved watchmaking. He watched how they repaired watches when they repaired them. After some time, when he was idle, he opened broken watches and repaired them. Hans loved his work and improved day by day. He reached the age of 20, went to the army for 2 years, and after the army, he went to the city of London, where he was employed in the sales department in a watch factory. During these days, he met a girl named Florence Frances May Crotty, and they get married. This brother's daughter named Alfred James Davis. He was older than him. When the girl's brother meets Hans, he realizes how much he loves watches. And he suggests to Hans, "Since you know so much about watches, why don't you make your own? And you start your business, if you want capital, I will give you a loan." A few years later in 1905, Hans started a company with his brother-in-law, a company called Wilsdorf and Davis. This name will become Rolex a few years later. After some time, Rolex had reached a point where everyone knew that Rolex watches are very luxurious. In 1953, Rolex released its most famous watch, which is still famous, the Rolex Submariner. With this watch, you can go to a depth of 100 meters. At that time, the price of this watch was $150, which at today's rate is $1,250. You can buy this watch in 2023. Buy it, it costs $10,000, of course, if you can buy it from the dealer. Because, for example, Rolex introduces a watch, then says that we will make 500 of this watch. The price is $25,000 per minute. Until next year, when Rolex announces how many of these watches they want to produce. If the number of production is increased, the price of the watch will be lower. And if the production is less, the price will increase astronomically. Those who use watches a lot do not like Rolex. Because of these restrictions, they go and buy other brands.
Did a story interesting? Tell me in the comments.